Hey YouTube. Few things push my angry buttons like messing with kids, messing with my family, or messing with other people's ability to make a family of their own. As a dad, and as somebody who didn't really expect to be able to be a dad in his life, I'm very honored and privileged to be able to do that. It's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. So when people step up to try to mess that up for other people, it really kind of ticks me off. And two people out there are doing that today. In the wake of the Hobby Lobby decision, it seems like religious people are tripping all over themselves to create new legislation that piggybacks along with that. And recently, two people, Senator Mike Enzi, a Republican from Wyoming, and Congressman Mike Kelly, a Republican from Pennsylvania, have gotten together to craft a steaming pile of doggy-doo that they call the Child Welfare Provider Inclusion Act of 2014. And we'll have the bill number down below if you want to look it up yourself and then give these two men a taste of your opinion about it. But basically what it does is it allows for third-party adoption agencies to not provide services to people that they don't agree with on the basis of religious bounds. And in the body of the bill, it says exactly that these agencies should have the right to the free exercise of religion and this includes the freedom to refrain from conduct that conflicts with their sincerely held religious belief. But also, and here's the kicker, that they should continue contracting with and receiving grants from the government entities to provide child welfare services. So we don't want to provide services for those guys over there because we believe that they're icky, but federal government, please continue to give us money. That's a lot of baloney, in my opinion. And what kills me are two things. One is the notion of sincerely held beliefs, because now we can just justify anything that we want to under the banner of sincerely held beliefs. And we know that these two men, being who they are, the only belief that they think should be protected is their Christian belief. And as somebody who is Christian and considers himself Christian, I am not here to attack Christianity as if it's some evil thing, but let's call it like it is. The only faith that matters to these men is their own faith. But when we put something like sincerely held religious beliefs into a legal document and say this is now the grounds for which we can do what we want to do legally, that leaves the door open to any sincerely held religious belief. So these people tripping all over themselves to keep gay people out of adoption are shooting themselves in the face. What happens if a third-party social agency that has an atheist social worker decides that they believe that religion is harmful to children, so they decide not to place with Christian homes? So what happens in that scenario? What happens if that social worker is Muslim or Buddhist and they just don't agree with Christian beliefs? Can they then cite their own sincerely held religious belief to say, I'm sorry, I don't have to deal with those people because they're different than me? It's not okay. And I don't see how in any universe we can say that this isn't asking the federal government to respect one religion over another, which is already violating our Constitution. So thank you, Hobby Lobby, so much. Thank you, Supreme Court, for making that possible. My sincere hope is that this law will never pass and that it's a bunch of grandstanding, make these men look like they're standing up for faith and family when all they're doing is opening the worst Pandora's box possible. Okay, and the second part of this bill that really gets me is the fact that they have the gall to title it the Child Welfare Inclusion Act of 2014 when all they're doing is excluding any family that could be a potential good home for a child who is in the foster system. So these agencies can decide they don't want to place with a gay couple or they don't want to place with any couple that doesn't agree with their religious beliefs, and that can include straight Christian single parents. It could mean that they don't have to provide any sort of services to an LGBT child that they discover is LGBT while they're in their care. So there's all kinds of things they don't have to do now because of their sincerely held belief. Now, as a dad and somebody who has adopted, that means they are essentially closing the door to families like mine. That there are other children out there that are dreaming of their forever homes that could not get to that forever home because these men believe that it's not good enough. That there are other parents out there that are dreaming of being parents to a child who really needs somebody to love and take care of them and won't be afforded that opportunity because they're not just right in these men's eyes. So there is no inclusion in this act. It's naked discrimination, naked animus, and I think we need to call it out as such. Now, by and large, I understand exactly where this came from, because in the body of the bill, they cite certain agencies that had to close their doors because they were being forced to offer services that conflicted with their religious beliefs. And when I read that in the body of the bill, the first thing I thought of was way back when marriage equality was still being fought over in Washington, D.C., Catholic Charities closed its doors because they were being required to offer services to anyone who came to them in order to take money from the federal government. And rather than continue to offer services to kids or have to potentially place a child in a gay home, they just said, oh, sorry, close our doors, push all those kids off onto other agencies, packed up all their services, and left Washington, D.C. That is evil. That is modern-day Phariseeism. I cannot believe that in the moral equivalency of having to possibly place a child in a gay home versus helping a child find a home, this was the more compelling reason. And this is what made Catholic Charities decide to pack up its services and leave. This is what Mike Enzi and Mike Kelly want to support. And I don't think we, as taxpayers, we as human beings, we as compassionate people who want to see children find homes, should support this. And these men need to be let know that this is not what we, as voters and as taxpayers, support with our time and money. So, YouTube, that is my rant for the day. So, if you live in these men's constituencies, in their zones, give them a call, write them a letter. Let them know what you think about it. We'll even try to put that information down in the description box. But this is a steaming pile of dog doo, and I can't believe anybody can possibly justify this. And I think it's time that we, as a nation, stop trying to codify one religion over another under the code word of sincerely held beliefs, because all of us have different sincerely held beliefs. All right, bye YouTube.